Hey, how you doing? Uh, Laura teaches at Woodford County High School. I teach at West Jessamine County High School in Central Kentucky. It's nice to be in my mom's hometown on a Wednesday. It's fantastic. Uh, but we're here to talk about digital collaboration. 4 years ago, I began a program in graduate school at the Breadloaf School of English. And one of the hallmarks of that institution is something happens when you get a bunch of English teachers up on a mountain and give them books and give them new ideas on how to teach those books. It inspires you to want to collaborate with other teachers and figure out ways that you can bring classrooms together to innovate. At my school, we had a severe deficit with technology. We're not a one-to-one county, and the students have more access and more ability to innovate with technology than the teachers do. And I recognized one of the things I wanted to do for my students was give them a publication website, a literary journal that's digital. That way the work can be showcased to a much wider audience than the traditional print publication offers. And I wanted to mirror something that would allow for the students to have a voice in how the website looks. How the curation would happen. So I partnered with Woodford County High School where they did have technology. Laura's students are responsible for the upkeep of the website, the design. This is all student done, and then my students write for the website, and we curate her students' work, and they curate ours. As a way to present art and literature in the digital environment about what's happening in my school, because as you guys know, so many great voices are in our classrooms, but just giving them a legitimate platform is the challenge that we have to face. Laura?
Hello. So sorry, the Wi-Fi is a little slow today. I'm Laura Benton. I teach at Woodford County High School. And so once I get it up, what you'll see is that the great thing about the website, first of all, is that it is entirely free. There is a free version of this platform that does all of the same things. It just has a little logo at the bottom. Our club kids actually pay to get the paid version, but the other version is just as good. And every bit of it is student content. So every image, every piece of literature, everything is completely 100% done by the kids. And they collaborate on the editing together, on the choosing of the pieces, whether that be art or poetry or whatever it is. That's a collaborative process that they engage with across schools. From Woodford to West Jessamine, which are not terribly far apart, but you'd think, talking to the kids, that they are just universes apart. And these are all things that have come out of our graduate studies at the Breadloaf School of English, and they're all inspired by that process of continuing education for teachers and how that impacts kids. So my Wi-Fi is being funny, so if anyone wants to get on their phone, it is westwoodlitmag.com, and we do have a mobile version that works as well. But the idea being that, the kids, they work on poetry, they work on prose, but where does it go? And this gives them a platform by which to publish their own voices and to have their own voices within the community. We also like to look really closely at different kinds of literature and also different kinds of what it means to be literate. So for us, that also means art, that means photography. There was a year that we had a kid do a graphic novel. We have a couple that are doing that this year. It means video and film. There was music this year that was completely new that they uploaded to SoundCloud and posted on the website. I don't actually know how to run this website. That is something the kids do, and they do it a lot faster than I mean, I'm sure if you gave me 3 hours, I could figure it out, but they can do it in about 10 minutes. So what we found is by really letting things go to students and their choices, that the content gets a million times better. So getting out of the way and letting them lead was probably the most transformative experience that we had in the classroom. So.
And I would add that I use this website as a way to get some action happening to change the culture of my school. This website, after it was up for a year, I was able to lock down creative writing electives into my school's curriculum for the first time. And it's a wonderful situation when you have students across the board that are using the language that they're learning in their English classrooms to talk about why certain pieces should be included. and why other pieces might be in a maybe pile, and et cetera, and really thinking critically about what is literature doing, written by their peers, right? I have found very much this website has been a phenomenal way to really change the conversation about language arts at my school and in student creativity.
And one of the projects the kids actually did in the archive section is they created a tutorial for anyone that would want to do something similar at their own schools with a variety of different free things and how to kind of work through that process. So if you go to the website under archives, it is in the previous year's version. So that's also something if you want to take back and work with your kids.
The main thing is yeah, I would definitely recommend spending some time on the website. Like Laura was saying, if this you could theoretically use the how-to portion of the website to create one for your own school. But I would certainly encourage you, reach out to other schools, get other schools involved in this, because again, when the students realize this, the students beyond not just your classroom, not beyond just your school, but and not just your immediate community, but the community, even a community next door, it just really changes the dynamic and the passion that the students put into it. Questions? Okay, great. Cool. Right on. Right on. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We've had just a phenomenal experience with our students working on this, and my hope is that, given circumstances that can change, eventually my school can catch up with our technology and start taking on more responsibilities for the actual website. But again, it's about having a platform to show off what the students can do, to get administrators to change their minds about allocations. Both schools the website is linked to both of our schools' websites, but technically this is an independent production between the schools. That was one of the things that was real important to us when we were creating the website initially, was that you wouldn't see, we're the Colts in Jesmond or the Bumblebees. We didn't want to see that type of stuff immediately on the website. We wanted to create an alternative space that seemed like it was shared by both schools. Hence the name Westwood, West Jesmond, Woodford County.
The other really neat thing we found is working with the kids. A lot of them have friends that have done study abroad. So like this year we did an international issue with a school in Japan, which is also on the website. The year before that, it was a school in Haiti, and it was a classmate of mine at graduate school at Breadloaf. So the kids love that part. They love this kind of lens into the outside world. I think we all come from pretty small communities. And so any glimpse that they can get into a bigger community and a bigger world is always really helpful and also really exciting for them. And I know that our photographers and our artists were really thrilled that people started to see their work as forms of literacy, as something that had to be read just like a story or just like a poem, because to them that was very new. And it's often seen as not as practical an art form as some of the others.
And I would add, too, that my English teachers in my department use this website as part of their classrooms. So all the classes are reading the work and discussing it. And so essentially, it's creating a textbook every year. I have started to see that. Now, I mean, a lot of that is because when I started teaching creative writing, when I took over AP Literature, for example, I took away the gates to that class, and a lot of students that traditionally were not in an advanced class started taking the class. So they were feeding out of the creative writing. So, yes, you do start to see a lot more investment in writing across the board when students know that people are actually reading it. In my case, I guess, knowing that I'm involved in creative writing and giving students a platform makes students a little bit more motivated to write about Kate Chopin. They want to make the investment in any opportunity they can.
So I'm guessing that this student was reading Gatsby.
Yeah.
That's yeah, that's what I see from that. So Gatsby's always a favorite of theirs. There is a huge impact when they go back and they do other things because they feel really accomplished. They feel published because they are. It's something that they can turn around and show to their community. It's also a wonderful platform for other class projects. So we have a published section and they've done like other little books and stuff like that. It just kind of raises the stakes in an everyday classroom in a way that's very much theirs and really nothing to do with testing as such, which is always helpful.
Been one of the more exciting things for me. Now that we've kind of done this digital work, now we're going back to do print publication with with an audience that we know is going to be larger because they're reading the website. At her school, they did children's books and poetry collections. At my school, we're doing an almanac because I've been really invested in this idea of making nonfiction creative in my school, and so we're now going